Hey guys, it's Ray Ray and happy Halloween. I just wanted to make this video just to explain my interpretation of Halloween and what it really means to embrace the darkness, okay? Now, for a lot of people, Halloween is seen as a celebration of darkness. You know, people dress up in scary costumes and or sometimes sexy ones. But for most, our society today really celebrates evil, but that isn't really the true intention or should be the purpose of Halloween. You see, Halloween is actually the day that the end of the last golden age actually began. Okay, so basically, Atlantis fell during Halloween. Okay, and from then on, human consciousness began to descend and to descend and to descend into deeper and deeper and deeper levels of unconsciousness. You know, the fall of man is a very real thing, and the cycles of time are also as real as the fall itself. So let me just explain a little bit about these cycles. So many ancient cultures in our world have, talk about different ages, okay, or yugas. For example, Indian culture speaks about the four ages or the four yugas. You know, you got Sattva Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Okay, with Kali Yuga being the darkest one, Satya Yuga being the golden age, so to speak. Um, other cultures such as ancient Greece, the Romans as well, even the Maya, they had Bronze Ages, Golden Ages, Silver Ages, etc. They were onto this as well. And these cycles of time actually repeat themselves over and over and over again. You know, and this is how history tends to repeat itself in different forms throughout our history. Now, Swami Sri Yukteswar, who was the guru of Paramahansa Yogananda, you know, a great Indian yogi, mystic and astrologer, actually calculated that the cycles of time overall span 24,000 years, okay? And 12 of those 12,000 of those years are ascending and the other 12 are descending. Okay, so basically what he means is that humanity, when we fell from our heights in Atlantis, you know, we basically reached the peak, and I'll use this circle to actually illustrate what I'm talking about. This might actually help a little. So basically, let's just imagine we're here, okay? And human consciousness rises and develops and develops and develops and develops and develops until we reach the very top of our evolution in the golden age. But then the only way to go is back down, you know, and this is really what symbolizes the fall of man. And man began to descend, human consciousness began to descend again. We lost a lot of our telepathic abilities, psychic abilities. We lost the ability to procreate without sexual intercourse, etc. We had so many other abilities that, you know, are seen as magical nowadays, you know, in our stories and everything, but these were very real things that we could do back then. Now, when Christ actually arrived, 2000 AD, well, 2022 AD, around that time, humanity had reached its lowest point, okay? But it also began to ascend again. But the beginning of that ascent is still the Dark Age. It is still Kali Yuga, okay? Now, it's not Kali Yuga now, like many erroneously believe. A lot of people, especially Indians, tend to believe that we're still in Kali Yuga. That is not true, and I can even prove it, okay? we've entered into the second age now, which is called Dwapara Yuga. It's the age of energy. And according to Paramhansa Yogananda, we entered into this age fully in the year 1900. And is it any wonder, since the turn of the 20th century, how much we've advanced technologically? We've also advanced in our understanding of the universe. We've advanced our understanding in terms of, energy and quantum physics, and people like Einstein and Tesla were born around that time as well. So there was many many exponents of the new age being born at that time, and we're going to be in Dwapara Yuga for another around 1,000 or so years more. But humanity is on the rise again. We are no longer in Kali Yuga, but this is why I have so much respect for someone like Jesus, because he came into this world knowing that he would be ridiculed and shunned, because he entered into it in the darkest of times. Krishna, for example, entered into this world from a higher age. He actually entered into the descending Dwapara Yuga before it went into Kali Yuga, and he even said that the planet is about to go into Kali Yuga, and that's why he left this world. But Jesus was there in Kali Yuga, and that's why he was persecuted. He was crucified for simply telling the truth, because human consciousness had completely lost touch with its divinity back then. And this is also why we're seeing now humanity beginning to wake up again. Human consciousness is on the rise. People are becoming more self-aware again. People are gaining their empathic and psychic abilities once more, and this is because human consciousness is on the rise again. Okay? But Halloween, let's get back to the topic. Halloween actually represents the fall of man. Okay? Now, of course, these cycles are perpetual. Okay? These cycles will always be there, no matter how enlightened we become. These cycles will always be there, However, Halloween then shouldn't really be a celebration of darkness. It should be a moment in time when we really begin to embrace the darkness within ourselves, because that very same darkness, which really is reflected within each one of us, that represents the fall of man, is still present within us, because whatever's in the collective consciousness is also within us, as above, so below. Okay, so Halloween should be a time of really making yourself really self-aware, of embracing the darkness, in the sense that you really come to accept that shadow side of yourself, and really begin to commit to integrating a lot of it. Halloween and this fall of man occurred in the sign of Scorpio, and if anybody knows astrology out there, Scorpio is one of the deepest and darkest and most mysterious signs in the zodiac. And Scorpio, in a sense, represents our shadow self. It represents those deepest and darkest desires, that we usually feel ashamed about. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, which is the furthest planet from the sun, thus it's enshrouded by the most darkness as well. Scorpio is also, Pluto, is also known as Hades, which is the god of the underworld. So these are all correlated. These are all these things are connected, so we can really use the Halloween energy, to embrace the darkness within ourselves. Now, this doesn't mean we put a Michael Myers costume on and just go around killing people or anything like that. Not at all. And I personally don't believe evil should be celebrated. That's my perspective, okay? Evil should be used for its intended purpose, and that is to provide us with the contrast that enables us to see the light of our true selves, okay? That's all the darkness exists for. That's it. You can't see the stars until it's nighttime. In the daytime, the stars are still there in the sky. It's just too bright that you can't see them, because the sun's there shining and, it's daytime. But the moment the sun descends below the horizon and the darkness takes over, there they are. And they've always been there. but you can only see them shine at their brightest when they're surrounded by the most darkness. And in that sense, then, at our darkest of days, our most challenging, situations that we experience, and the most difficult aspects of our lives are there to provide us with the contrast that enables us to truly embrace our true self. So if you use Halloween in this sense, of course, it can be a cause for celebration, because you can utilize this energy to really help you grow closer to your true self, to embody or to level up to an even better version of yourself. And, this is really the true purpose of Halloween. Okay, so the fall of man was a very real thing. We used to have, like I said before, telepathic communications. We didn't even used to write or read. We used to just our memories were so good, we could memorize the entire Bhagavad Gita and just pass it down through, oral traditions. But when humanity fell into Kali Yuga, the Vedas had to be written down, for example, because people couldn't remember them anymore. People were just losing the memory too much. And in a sense, that's really all Kali Yuga was. It's a forgetfulness of who we truly are. And as humanity begins to really, ascend up the yugas again and, embrace the higher ages more and more remembrance of who we truly are and what we truly are will come into our consciousness on an individual and a collective level. Patanjali, one of the greatest yogis ever to live, said that the process of enlightenment or, awakening is simply a process of smriti, which he calls remembrance. It's just remembering who you truly are, because once we incarnate into this world in these lower ages, we've literally just come out of Kali Yuga. Okay, so there's still a little bit of a hangover at the moment, but we are, as you can see, technologically and with our developments, we are beginning to really embrace Dwapara Yuga fully, but there's still that little bit of a hangover. But when we incarnate in these lower ages, what happens is we forget who we are, we forget our past lives, we forget our future selves. There's always exceptions to the rule, of course, but a veil of forgetfulness is placed over our perception the moment we come out of the womb. And that again is linear space and time, those Saturnian illusions, that really inhibit our ability to remember our divinity. But again, we all chose to be here at this present time. We all chose to really embrace these dark ages, and there's nothing more powerful, is there, than really incarnating in a very dark and very dumb age in some ways, and still finding the light and the joy of your true self. And that is powerful. And not every soul has the courage to actually do that, to experience it. So well done for you for actually, diving back into the earth portal and to really take on this challenge. And I hope that you meet it head on with vigor and determination, okay, because you're going to need it over the coming years. So yeah, that's it. I hope you have a lovely Halloween, and I hope you use this time to really, not only pierce the veil, but also pierce the illusions that eclipse your perception of reality. Take care for now.